Two types of gaslighting. Did you know that there's two ways to be gaslit? I can be gaslit, and I can also gaslight myself. So whatever can happen out there can happen right in here. So usually what's happening in here is allowing what's happening out there. So I'm Jazz. This is All That Jazz. I talk all things recovery. I don't just talk about the substance abuse and addiction. I talk about all the behaviors and the traits and the things that hinder me living that great life that I can live one day. So stopping behaviors, it has to start with me. So to get away from those gaslighters, to see what's coming, to make sure I don't get in these relationships again or in situations where I'm taking on that lie as a belief for myself, I have to start with myself. So I have to stop gaslighting myself if I don't want to be gaslit anymore. I want to stop believing other people's lies about me and start believing my own truth about me. So this is going to give me a freer life one day. This is going to give me so much, but I have to start myself. So how do I stop gaslighting myself? All day long, I'm going to have transactions. I'm going to have things happen. I'm going to have opportunities from my higher power. My higher power of my understanding is going to give me chances to choose. I have a will. I have a choice. I have a higher power of my understanding. And I'm living in this world where things are going to happen. So maybe I'm rusty when I begin. Maybe I'm not noticing things as much or I'm not remembering. It doesn't matter. My higher power always comes back around. So I can start trying to grab those opportunities from my higher power in my life where I choose what is the belief for me. What is actually happening here for me? And when I start choosing for me, I start separating from you. When I start listening to me, I start being different than you. You can say and say whatever you want over there, but I start actually honoring that what I believe is different over here. Maybe it's not always different, but I have to start believing or just liking or acknowledging the thing that I like and believe over here. And so when I really start doing that with my feelings, this is a building block. So this is me learning to listen to myself. And I get to take myself everywhere. All the work that I do for me, all my recovery, all my learnings gets to come with me wherever I go, through every happening, through every relationship. And then that helps me see things in the future. So when I'm being confused by someone, or, the words are being said and I'm starting to have this doubt, I can always revert to my feeling. And my feeling is a very true part of me. So if my brain can't think of the right answer and everything seems logical and makes sense, maybe from that thing that's being said my way, I can just think, well, do I feel okay about this? Do I like this? Do I want this? Am I feeling uneasy? So that's a great power with true feelings, is it's so authentic to me. And if my brain can't keep up with what's happening, which usually can happen in a very gaslit situation, then I can acknowledge my feeling. And when I start acknowledging my feeling wherever I go, I start having a baseline for myself. I start realizing, like, whenever I'm around that person, I'm in this situation, I don't like it. And I start actually listening to my own feeling. I'm building something within myself. So that gaslighting situation, that person that's, say, lying or is going, whoa, to my feelings or the way I am or what I'm saying, there's going to be that like inflated reaction that makes. And then I could take that on as like, oh, what did I do? Something's wrong. I'm feeling blamed. Well, I don't have to choose that reaction as true, what they're doing. It can hurt for a little while. It can feel confusing. But when I start noticing that, oh, like, I'm confused, I'm feeling doubt, I'm feeling blamed, I'm not feeling okay, I'm feeling like I didn't do anything wrong here. And you know what? I didn't do anything wrong here. So I can choose in every moment, I can choose many moments to believe my own truth. And when I do that multiple times I do that over and over in my day all the time. That grows something. And then I can take that with me when I'm in those confusing situations. But when I keep acknowledging me, I then develop that muscle, and then I can start relying on that muscle in situations. This is kind of the way I got out of stuff. So a gaslighter is going to gaslight you, and they're going to gaslight themselves. If I'm being gaslit by someone, it also might mean that I'm also gaslighting myself. So that could also mean that I need to get more truthful with myself in my own situations, and I can work this as hard as I want. So say I'm in a store, like I'm not going to buy the things that I don't want to buy. I'm not going to buy the shoes that I don't want to wear. Like I'm not going to hang out with people that I don't want to hang out with. Like I'm going to start making all these decisions for myself and my truth as much as possible. And that really develops that truth in myself. Like if I'm feeling like, oh, I really shouldn't have spent that much on that. I'm feeling discomfort. I'm feeling guilty. Well, I should listen to that. I should really start listening to that feeling. I have to acknowledge the bad feelings too. So this is like, I got a feelings imbalance here. Like maybe I haven't been in many positions in my life where bad feelings are okay. Maybe I associate bad feelings with bad character, where, oh, these bad feelings mean I'm bad. So I have to start separating all these little things. So yes, I can have my bad feelings now. You know, I can't just only have good feelings. I really got to start tipping those scales and like letting the bad feelings, like acknowledging those ones, like that disappointment and that sadness and depressed things, like anger, what's under the anger, like discontent, you know, uncomfortableness, like all these things have to be acknowledged because they tell me something. So when I start feeling the bad ones too, I'm going to get more emotionally available. I'm going to have something to fall on. This helps me build strong recovery, strong empowerment in myself. And so now, you know, if I notice that the gaslighting is happening, I have to stop with myself first. Like I have to stop gaslighting myself if I don't want to be in those situations again. And when I actually stop that, I start to see it everywhere. I start to see that gaslighting, that dishonesty, the lying, and instead of getting hurt and upset and disappointed, like I feel that. Like, oh, like they're saying it's this way when it's this way. And I'm sad about that misalignment on the reality, right? Like there's going to be some kind of pain there. Like I can be sad about it that we're not connecting, but then I'm going to have to actually get to a point where I let the iceberg float away from me and just start knowing and facing that, you know what, here it comes. Like here comes that inflated reaction about what I'm doing, or here comes, like I start making it like it is something separate from me. Like here comes that thing, that lie, that, you know, the eye rolls, that you're crazy. I start seeing that as like, okay, they're going to do that. They're going to do that. I start accepting that that's what's happening there. That's what they're going to do. And then I really start sitting with myself, because now I'm out there practicing in my day to be feeling and talking to myself about it. I start knowing I have a truth. And I don't explain it to that person that's, you know, bringing over the why you like this and why it's like that, or you don't have to be so upset about that, you know, whatever. It just, I start letting that go, letting that person say what it is. The thing is happening. And then I just be like, it is something I don't want to let go. Like I don't say it out loud. I just acknowledge it for myself in this quiet space that, well, my truth is okay for me. Like I like my truth. My truth means something to me. And when that gets stronger, that gaslighting can't push you off as much. It gives me a way out. It's a starting step. It starts something. And by making them stop gaslighting doesn't get me to safety. They're never going to stop the gaslighting. They're not going to stop manipulating unless for some reason that's some big blown up acknowledgement and all that proof is there in that time. But in these situations, that usually doesn't happen So I have to start validating myself in every single transaction in my whole day in life. And I plant that seed, I acknowledge that thing. It starts making me strong against those gaslighting situations. It starts making me separate. I start to be able to be like, that's okay that that's like that over there, but I think this, I believe this, I feel this. When I really feel the things that are from the whole scale of feelings, I have to practice, not just the good ones. When I start feeling all the time in my head, I start learning about myself, I can see it out there. And if I become a feeling person, I likely will not get into a manipulative situation, maybe I don't want to spend time with someone that's got a reality issue. If they're gaslighting or lying or shifting something, they got bigger problems than what they're trying to control over here. But if I want to get out of the problem, I have to first stop having those problems with myself. And then I get the eyes. That's the gift. I get the eyes, I get the strength, I get the awareness, and I get to choose not to be so close next time. I get to choose to back away. All day long, I can practice these. I have a choice to practice what to do. Do I want to practice feeling, or do I want to practice defending some lie that's not true? Do I want to practice honoring who I am? Or do I want to get involved in trying to explain something that someone's never going to ever acknowledge or explain? If they're having a honesty issue, then they're not going to become more honest because I said, you're being dishonest. You shouldn't be that way. Don't be controlling. Don't be manipulative. That's not going to change anything. I can only change myself, and I can practice by honoring my own truth first. And then I get control of myself because I start making my decisions differently when I start respecting my feelings. It's just like this dominoes effect. This chain reaction is going to happen inside myself. When I start making better choices for myself, I start having that self-love, self-respect, start feeling. Feelings get me out of a lot of things because feelings mean something. And then it affects my decisions. And I'm in charge of where I bring my body and my soul and where my energy goes. I'm in charge of my energetic boundary. I could spend my energy trying to get them to believe something, or I can just spend my energy acknowledging what I believe, what I know is true. I don't tell them my belief is different. That could be wasting some energy. I just acknowledge my own truth in those quiet spaces with myself. I take that, and that grows. If I start changing my life and making different choices and feeling, I potentially run a great risk of meeting other people like that are also acknowledging their own feelings. This could be a stepping stone to getting away from old patterns and people that bring that negativity and that lying. Like, I want to be a more truthful person. I want to live in my recovery. I want to be free. I want to be me. Well, it starts like with the center of who I am. And that usually is feelings work, feeling my way out. When the mirage is happening, when the lies are being said and the logic, it seems so logical. But what am I feeling? That's going to tell me something. So I stop believing the words and start believing my feeling first. And then that actually means something. It doesn't matter that someone says that it's too much or too big or too little. It just matters. Whatever my feeling is my feeling. And so people that are this keeps me away from gaslighters because I become really honest with myself. And then I see it. So it's kind of like you're not going to step in the same muck again, right? So this gives me those eyes, and I have to stop gaslighting myself if I don't want to be in gaslighting situations. And then when I believe my truth, it doesn't matter what they say anymore. They don't have any power anymore. I have developed my own power, but it takes developing that. It's a process. So I hope this helped you guys. This is my bit on gaslighting. And I find like feeling higher power, becoming, separate emotions and feelings and thoughts, like really helped me. I think it could really help you. So yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Bye.